Hello, I'm Jonathan Milam, and this time I'm not going to do a review of an instrument, but I'm going to do some mutes. And the first mute that I'm going to do is a solo mute. That's S-O-U-L-O, and I'll have them written up for you to be able to see. But I'll play just a moment on the trumpet so you get an idea what it's sounding like, and then with each of the mutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different mutes. And we start off just a simple old chorus. And this next mute is a bucket mute, and we'll start off with it. Brendan, can you get Bentley? He's jumping on the ledge down here. Okay, here we go. And with this one, you can see there's a little bit of difference here. You've got an option. You can close it just a little bit. Matter of degrees. And of all the mutes, I think this one, what I'm trying to go from is the open trumpet sound to the most closed, and we'll go in order. But here's what it sounds like with this a little more closed. Nice sound, nice mute. And then we go to the old cup mute, and this is stone line. Really a nice mute. They've been around forever, but I really do like the sound of this. I always taught you always get a little moisture on the cork so that it seals better. Then we've got a straight mute. This is a Dennis Wick. I'm pretty sure it's aluminum, extremely light. Of all of these mutes, I've only bought 2 of them, and one of them I had 30 years. I've never used it in public. I just don't use mutes much. This is a little Bach Strad plastic mute, and actually, if you can see, one of the corks is missing, but really not much effect here, probably because it's just hard plastic, and hopefully not because one of the corks is gone, but you know, a cheap mute nonetheless. All right, and we've got a Harmon mute, and when we start off with this, I think it'll sound quite a bit like the rest, but you can make some adjustments with these. Okay, and if you can pull it out without pulling the mute out, you can pull it out about halfway and you do get a little different sound. Okay, and the thing is, you can actually pull the centerpiece out completely, and then you really do get a completely different sound out of this. Nice. In fact, I heard of a guy that was playing in a band with a fella, could not get his mute as soft as the other guys. They were using different types. And he found out the guy was using a Harmon mute without the centerpiece. Well, that is going to be very quiet. Now, the next one I'm going to use is really for a different purpose completely. This is a Yamaha. It's what they call the silent mute, and it is really quiet. I actually will sometimes practice my trumpet while I'm watching TV. I've used this mute with my son. We're both watching the same show, and he says, really, it's not loud enough to bother him at all. So we'll start off with this, same song, same chorus. And it is pretty quiet. I can actually hear it. I don't know if you hear it or you actually feel it resonating in the horn, but it is very quiet. Nice thing about these is you can see there's a place for a plug to go into. This one actually has the system where you can plug it into headphones. You've got another thing, you can switch it up an octave. You can have an input in that device where you can also play other songs, and it feels like you're playing. The only thing you do have to watch with this in some practice mutes is you're really altering the feel of the trumpet. It's very easy to overblow. For a while I was using Warburton mouthpieces. I like Marcinkiewicz now, is what I almost always use. Just really like their mouthpieces, but Warburton puts out a great product. I was experimenting with some different backbores they've got. I was using the QM, which is a very tight backbore in this thing, and I really messed my lip up. For about a month, I couldn't do anything, and I couldn't figure out what the problem was. I was practicing with this a lot, and with this, the tendency to overblow because you're not hearing what you want, and with that tight backbore, it just was not a good situation. But an excellent mute to practice with, as long as you realize there is a difference. Really, when you've got it all plugged in and you're listening to it, it sounds like a trumpet, and you don't seem to be fighting so much, but most of us have an inner idea of what our tone should sound like, and when we're not getting that, we just compensate by making it sharper or stronger, and you can run into problems, but a tremendous mute if you like watching shows with somebody next to you, but you practicing the horn. And realistically, if you want to practice quiet or you're in an apartment setting, this is good. I used to think that the Harmon mute was the same thing. I was in a large church one time, probably seated 1,500 or 2,000, and I was back in the platform area, and I was practicing before church, and somebody came up later and said, you sounded fantastic on that mute, and they're 500 feet away. But with some of these, it does muffle it, but it makes it carry quite well. So not all mutes are silent mutes. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's a pleasure to play around on the different mutes for you. Check out my other videos, say hi if you'd like, and have a great day. Thanks for joining me.